Welcome back, everyone. We've got a brand new explainer for you today, and honestly, we're setting the stage for an absolutely epic battle. On one side, the extreme, totally unpredictable weather of Northeast Ohio, and on the other side, your home's mechanical systems. You know, the very equipment that's supposed to keep you safe and comfortable. We're diving deep into the ultimate climate versus comfort survival guide. We'll be using some incredibly fascinating insights from Ace HVAC Cleveland to show you exactly how extreme local climates push our indoor comfort systems to their absolute limits.
So think about this. What actually happens when a brutal lake effect winter collides with a thick, humid summer right inside your own home? Well, it's not just a theoretical question, right? It is a daily reality for homes in places like Westlake, Ohio. We're talking about severe environmental whiplash here. Your heating and cooling systems aren't just, casually adjusting to mild changes. They are being pushed to their absolute mechanical breaking points. Let's explore exactly how this intense, year-round pressure test really impacts the heart of your home.
The Lake Erie effect, a two-front war on your home. I kind of like to think of your HVAC system as this overworked hero fighting a relentless 365-day battle against the elements.
First up, we've got those notorious lake effect winters. We're talking heavy, relentless snow and freezing temperatures that basically force furnaces to run nonstop, day after day, literally just to keep the pipes from bursting. But then, just a few months later, the enemy completely changes tactics. Bam! Moisture-laden summers. Lake Erie brings this oppressive humidity that essentially forces air conditioners into absolute overdrive. They're cycling on and off constantly, just battling to pull all that heavy moisture out of the air. It's a true two-front war.
But the real kicker here is the whiplash effect. Look, if you live in Ohio, you probably know the old joke, right? If you don't like the weather, just wait 5 minutes. But all that absurdity actually takes a really serious toll on your mechanical equipment. Just imagine a freezing March cold snap hitting right on the heels of a couple of beautiful, warm February days. Your system had just switched over to cooling mode, and then suddenly, boom, it slammed right back into heavy heating. These sudden temperature swings severely stress those transitioning components. It ages the equipment at a way faster rate than systems that are lucky enough to live in, well, more stable, boring climates.
Section 2. Common climate casualties. When systems break under pressure. Let's see exactly how these environmental pressures translate into actual specific mechanical breakdowns.
Okay, so that constant winter running we just talked about? Well, the metal inside your furnace expands and contracts so much that it leads directly to cracked heat exchangers. And that's a major safety hazard, by the way. What about that heavy summer humidity? It overworks the system and can literally freeze evaporator coils solid, basically turning your AC into a giant block of ice. Even the ground itself is against you. The constant freeze-thaw cycles of local clay soil will actually shift basements and crawl spaces, which can pull your ductwork entirely apart. And finally, those rapid temperature swings, they burn out electrical components, leaving you with failed capacitors. It's basically a domino effect of destruction.
Moving right along to the golden rules of HVAC, your survival playbook. We know the war is brutal, so how do we actually survive it? Well, the experts at Ace HVAC have given us a really practical set of rules of thumb.
Rule number 1 comes down to a single digit, 3.
This is the 3-minute rule. So the crucial takeaway here is that when your air conditioner is running, the compressor builds up a massive amount of high pressure. If you turn the thermostat off and then immediately flip it back on, maybe you're arguing with someone over the temperature in the house, you are forcing that motor to start up against all that dangerous built-up pressure. It can cause severe electrical stress and, worst case, complete compressor burnout. So always, absolutely always, wait at least 3 minutes before a restart.
Next up, your second magic number, 2. And this brings us to the 2-foot rule. You really must maintain at least 24 inches, so 2 feet, of clearance completely around your outdoor condensing units. Why? Because that unit literally needs to breathe to exchange heat properly. If you let spring vegetation overgrow or if winter snow piles up and blocks the sides, you're essentially strangling the system. It forces the compressor to work incredibly hard, which not only drives up your energy bills, but also causes premature failure. Just give it 2 feet of space.
Up next, repair versus replace, the battle of economics. Look, we all have to face the inevitable reality here. All mechanical systems eventually fail. So how do we logically and financially approach the decision to either fix it or ditch it?
Enter the $5,000 rule. Now, this is a crucial financial survival tool you'll definitely want to keep in your back pocket. It's a pretty simple formula, actually. You take the age of your unit in years and multiply that by the estimated repair cost. Let's say you have a 12-year-old furnace and the repair quote is $500. Well, 12 times 500 equals $6,000. Because that final number is over $5,000, it usually makes a lot more financial sense to just replace the unit entirely, rather than pouring your hard-earned money into an aging system that's already losing efficiency.
But to actually use that $5,000 rule, you kind of need to know how long these systems are actually supposed to live, right? So here is the concrete data. On average, in a really demanding climate, furnaces last about 15 to 20 years. Air conditioners, they usually make it 12 to 15 years. And heat pumps, well, because they are running all year round, fighting both the heating and the cooling battles, they generally tap out between 10 and 15 years. Just knowing where your system sits on this timeline is half the battle.
Oh, and here is a critical warning for when you do finally decide to replace: sizing matters. There's this super common misconception that buying the biggest possible unit is somehow an upgrade. It's actually a massive mistake. Oversized systems cool the air way too quickly and shut off before they can actually dehumidify the house. This leads to what's called short cycling, which wastes a ton of energy and makes the unit fail so much faster. A proper replacement requires what the pros call a manual J load calculation. This perfectly matches the equipment to your home's square footage, your insulation, and even your window efficiency.
Finally, the three-step solution, a methodical rescue. When the extreme climate finally breaks your system, which, let's be honest, usually happens in the middle of the night, how do the professionals systematically resolve the emergency? Contrast the sudden, chaotic panic of a midnight system failure with the calm, really methodical steps of a professional repair. Step 1, emergency dispatch. That means getting a real human on the phone and a technician immediately on the road. Step 2, professional diagnosis. This means they're using actual testing equipment to find the true root cause, not just making some wildly expensive guess. And Step 3, testing and guarantee. This means verifying the airflow and electrical draws before they even leave your driveway, so you know the problem is actually permanently solved. And this brings us to the logistics of a true rescue. Emergency service doesn't mean a guy showing up just to tell you a part needs to be ordered for next week. It means arriving fully prepared with a rapid response inventory. The pros know the local housing stock inside and out, so they carry specific parts for the Carrier, Trane, and Lennox systems that are super common in these neighborhoods. They've got those vulnerable capacitors and contactors right on the truck for an immediate replacement. The ultimate goal? An honest one-visit fix.
Which leaves us with one final, incredibly important question to ask yourself today. Is your HVAC system ready to survive the next season, or will it fail the $5,000 test? We've seen the brutal reality of this climate war, we've gone over the golden rules of survival, and we've done the math together. Now, it's really up to you to evaluate the health of your own comfort systems before the next extreme weather whiplash hits. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Stay comfortable, stay prepared, and I'll see you on the next one.